Welcome. Today we're talking about multi-stage experiments in which we have more than one event taking place. So far we have talked about independent events. Independent events are when the sample space stays the same every time. For example, if I toss a die, every time I toss it, I have those same 6 choices. If I flip a coin, every time I flip it, I have those same 2 choices. So those would be independent events. So I'd like to introduce dependent events, which is when the sample space is changing. So let's say that I have 6 cans on my shelf, and I want to figure out the probability of choosing a can of corn and then a can of beans. And I'm not going to put the can of corn back, so it'll be different the second time around. So first of all, the probability of picking out a can of corn would be 1 out of my 6 choices. Once I take that can of corn, now there are only 5 cans remaining, and 3 of those are beans, so there's a 3 in 5 chance of getting beans. Since I want the corn and the beans, I would multiply these 2 together, and that would be a probability of 3 out of 30, or 1 out of 10. All right, well, let's say that I have a deck of cards. Is choosing 2 cards from a deck are those dependent events or independent events? Well, it makes a difference what I say. If I say I'm going to take the first card out and not replace it, then those would be dependent events. The probability would be changing. For example, if I said, what's the probability of picking an ace and then another ace from the same deck without replacement? Okay, the first time I have 4 aces out of the 52 cards in the deck. But once I take out that ace, now I only have 51 cards remaining, and only 3 of those are aces. So this would be my probability. If, on the other hand, I was going to replace that first card and put it back in the deck, the probability of choosing 2 aces with replacement would now be independent events because I'm starting with the same 52 cards. And so that would be 4 out of 52 times 4 out of 52. And I would multiply those together.